That was the greatest series I played in. Mm. Because everybody, we actually lived together. The Australians and West Indians were very friendly during that whole series. We stayed in the same hotel, which never used to happen. Wherever we went, and we mixed up and got together. And I remember on occasions, you go up to the Aussies' room and sit down and have a drink, or they'll come to yours, and that kind of a unity. And I believe that Sir Donald Bradman was the person who probably made the series, because he really got hold of Richie and Frank and said, look, we want cricket. Cricket is dying, and we need to do something to bring it back alive. And I remember on many occasions having meetings, with the team. Frank would say, no, gentlemen, I want you, when you go there, you get a half volley. I want you to hit it. A half volley is a half volley even in church. So don't go out there and play you pushing it back half volleys. Try and hit it. And I think by that instruction, it gives the player an opportunity to take chances and risks without having to worry that if I lost my hand, what's the captain's going to say to me? And that's how the game was played.
That first test match, we were practicing the day before the game, and I was fielding fairly short, and Richie was hitting these catches, and he wasn't hitting them soft, he was hitting them hard, and I got this one on the end of my little finger on the bowing hand, and I felt something crack, and it was, I knew that I had a broken finger. And so I just immediately left the field, which I don't think the skipper was too happy with. But half an hour or so later, it was starting to go blue and everything. And that night, Richie said, what has happened to your finger? I said, well, I think it's broken. He said, well, I'll have to tell Don, to which he did. And anyway, we'll see what happens in the morning. So in the morning, I went out and practiced. And I always caught with the left hand over the top of the right hand. Well, all of a sudden, I've got to learn to catch with the left hand underneath. I bowled, and I had no problem because of my grip. Don says, I suppose we'll have to take the risk. So, as you know, the game went on, and we had great innings from Gary Savers, 130. I rank it in the top 5 innings I've ever seen. Then Normie O'Neill got 180, magnificent innings. Then we had the chase on the last day, and of course I got run out with 7 runs needed in 7 minutes, and the game was won really. We had it sewn up, and I said to Richie, I said, no short singles. We've done all the hard yakka, just make sure I'm up there to face west. He'll drop one short, that's 4 or 6 on the hook shot. So anyway, I get run out, and of course I'm not too happy sitting in the dressing room. All I've done is taken my pads off, and I'm sitting there. And of course, I'm watching what's evolving on the middle of the pitch, and the game's over. Then Don came in and said, well, we've made history, and don't be disappointed, Alan. And I'm thinking, God, don't be disappointed. Got to bowl my guts out. I've batted as well as I can ever bat. And we haven't won. And of course, anyway, he said, well played. And as he walked away, he said, by the way, he said, you couldn't break your finger before every game, could you?
But I think everybody's surprised that I hit the first one in the middle. And but the second one went down leg side, and I did take a swish at it. And I'm almost looking at the ball going through to the keeper. And next thing I hear Wally yell out, run. And I turned around, and he was only about 5 yards from me. But I should have been run out, as you know, when you look at the photograph. All he had to do was underarm it to Frank, who was behind the stumps, or even get underarm it, or even run in with it. He would have beaten me most likely to the wicket. So, and he tried to throw it, fortunately for them at any rate, that Valentine stopped the ball, otherwise it would have gone for 4 overthrows, and that would have been it too.
What about when Lindsay arrived? Take us to that moment when Lindsay arrived in the middle. What did you say?
Well, I said to him, look, all we're going to do is that if you hit it, we run. We've just got to take if you hit it, let's go. That was basically what I said. And as you know, he hit it to short square leg. hit it in the middle. I got such a shock when he hit it in the middle that I hesitated a little bit and got run out, but he'll tell you a different story.
What did you know there was such confusion at the end as Colin Hoy raised his finger? I mean, what the confusion that did you know that it? I think you had a fair idea it was a tie, did you not?
No, I didn't. I looked. I only was working on 233 to win. I didn't think of 232 to draw or to tie. And it wasn't until I got off the ground that I was sitting in the dressing room, still had my pads on, and I was really very upset and trying to work out why we'd been beaten, and it cost my run. I'd cost the game. And Colin McDonald came up and said, what are you so dirty on? I said, we've been beaten. He said, no, it's not. It's a tie. From then on it became a very different dressing room, I can promise you. But I think half the West Indians thought that they had won it. I don't think they had thought that it was a tie either. I think some of them did, but overall, no, they didn't.